I'm Andy Hirsch, and this is Station 38, a comic from 2004. Unfortunately, this is one of the ones that I don't have all the pieces for anymore. It was kind of in demand at the time, so I went and I guess sold off or gave away the last one that had the case. So imagine this had like a starfield on it, like around the whole thing, and said Station 38 up there in like pretty cool looking lettering. Anyway, so we'll pull the comic itself out. We'll do a read through, and then I'll talk a little bit about construction. So this has a little band that keeps it in place, and also kind of has some hints on how to read it. I guess a weakness of this is probably that it needed a little explanation, but it's worth it to do. But I think it's a pretty cool construction. So. You enter the space station here. Just continue along. So here we can see that our computer terminal here matches the magenta of the messages we're getting on the cube here as we unroll it. And that continues on through the rest of the book, where the dangerous effects are all in that hot pink. Dodge out to the right there, and go out the locked door. Not receiving transmissions out here. Here we re-enter the station. We go around corridor B and go instead to corridor C. The robot runs into the wall there, continues around the turn. This has been folded up for a while, so it's not really staying too flat. So when I was writing and designing this, kind of the first thing I did was to come up with the different shapes for different actions, different events that could happen. So you have this U shape here, and then I figured I could zigzag around here, and as you can see, you get around it by ducking in that maintenance shaft there. And then as you fold, shaft is open, and the astronaut has actually climbed onto the outside of the cube here. And ride it to here, and then drop back off on this space to get around the defense lasers. Got a hit there. Alright, door's locked, so what do? Go into another maintenance shaft. Drop down. come out down here, unplug the system, and then climb that ladder back up in here. When you come back, door's open. So that is actually two versions of the same panel there. And we were able to make it to the escape pods, where we see that they've already left. So this is, construction-wise, it's a single double-sided color laser print. So the other side is where all the messages and the, I'm not going to tear anything, where all the messages and all the pipes that you just kind of see for, you know, along the cube as you're going are. So as I was saying, came up with the shapes for the events on the inside first, and then, you know, stuck them together to get the actions looking good, and then match that up to the back side here to see where I could put messages and where I could do where I could fit the part where you go on the outside here, keeping in mind what part of the cube would be visible as you're unfolding it, right? So that's what you're matching. You're basically matching the whatever the panel is here to whatever the panel is, and I don't know which one it is, but whatever the panel is that's on top of the cube at the time that the reader has reached that point. So not only which, but, you know, which direction it faces, because as you can see, you know, that one up is that way, up is that way, up is that way, up is that way. So really had to first make a draft with the art, and then be able to match that, just go through and literally have the cube right there and put a little arrow on whatever side was back, and then piece that together to, you know, kind of puzzle that out to figure out how to make that fit on the back there. One of my goals here with this one was to see what I could do with simpler materials. So like I said, this is it's a single double-sided print. The only part, aside from cutting along, you can see the thicker black lines here, so you know where to cut. The only thing is that one panel's doubled up here, so that you can get the effect where you go back over the same space. So it's just a 6x6 grid, 36 squares. That one doubles up, 37, 38, station 38. And then it folds back up. There's only one way that it can go, so you're not really gonna mess it up. Fold back up, put it back in the band. I'm not gonna do that right now. And that's that comic.